Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Essay Writing in English. I am Barry, and I will be your guide to writing good paragraphs and essays in English. I'm joining you today from Kim Chun University, it's Front Gate. It's a beautiful day. You can see this blue sky, and I'm happy to be here with you. Had a great lunch, had sundubu jjigae for lunch, and it was spicy and wonderful. I hope you also had a good lunch today. All right, we are now doing week 6 of classes, still online for the moment, hoping to get in the classroom early next month, so early in May. We'll see how that goes, but for now we're still online, and I'm making these videos for you to help explain the workbook, the textbook and the textbook homework and how to do it. So today we're going to start with the homework I gave you last time from Unit 4, and we'll just quickly go through the word activities so you can check your answers there. And we'll start here with number 1. To eliminate something, if you eliminate it, it means it's gone, it's no longer there. So that would be similar to leaving, it leaves. To arrange something, if you, for example, arrange your desk, arrange your clothes, you are putting those things in order. Huge, you should know that one already. That is the same as large. To scramble, if you think about scrambled eggs, are they nice and clean, or are they kind of mixed up? They're mixed up. So we're going to find numbers here that are not in any special order. So that would be the second ones here, kind of in a random order. Number 5, if you get rid of something, you don't have it anymore, so you are subtracting it. Used to go, that is a past tense. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. For example, I used to study Korean every day. I do not anymore. So that is similar to went, past tense. It's not future. Number 7, to view is to look or see something, look at or see something. Dust you'll find on your shelves if you don't clean very often, and that would be similar to dirt. A bargain is something that is a good deal, so it's cheap. Property is something that you, if it's my property, that means I own it. It's mine, so you own it. In brief, something is brief, that means that it is short. So in brief means just in a few words. Likewise is a way to say similarly. So in the same way. To remove, if you remove something, you take it away. Again, you are subtracting. At once means immediately, so right away. And a spot is another way to say a place. So for example, there's a good kalguksu spot near my apartment, a good place to have kalguksu. All right, so that brings us to collocations from Unit 4. So we have, we complain about something. Complain about something. For example, sometimes students complain about their grades. Sometimes my kids complain about doing their homework or studying. Number 2, to last a long time. If something lasts a long time, it seems to go on forever. It's not over quickly. Number 3, a poisonous insect, a poisonous insect. A reason cannot be poisonous, but an insect can, or a snake, a poisonous snake could work there. Number 4, extremely or widely, the most played sport. In this case, you're talking about something that is played by many people, maybe all over the world. And so you want to use widely there, the most widely played sport. You could say soccer is a widely played sport. Many people play it in many different places all around the world. Number 5, our favorite spot. Here's that word spot again to mean place. So my family's favorite, let's see, what do we want to do for this one? My family's favorite Bosam spot is near the Arboretum in Daegu. Arboretum is Sumokwan. So there is a great Bosam spot over there. Number 6, adverse effects. So adverse is something negative, a negative effect on something. Number 7, a logical idea. An idea that is logical is an idea that makes sense. It's easy to follow, easy to understand. Number 8, you do not make chores, but you do chores. Do chores. For example, after lunch, I washed the dishes. I did my chores. Number 9, crispy vegetables. So if something is crispy, it has a nice little snap to it. And it might be a little crunchy when you bite it. And finally, a blank pond, shallow. A pond is like a small lake. So we're talking about how deep the water is, and shallow means that it is not very deep. Maybe it just covers your feet or goes up to your knees. So then it is shallow, a shallow pond. Okay, we are now moving into Unit 5, which is a review unit. We've studied quite a bit now about paragraphs, what makes a good paragraph, how to write good paragraphs, and we've practiced writing quite a few paragraphs so far. I'm still enjoying reading your paragraphs that you write for homework every week, so keep up the good work on those. Today we're going to bring together all of the things we've learned so far about paragraphs and do a few activities to continue practicing, and then I'll give you some writing homework at the end of the lecture. So for our review here, of course, we've got what makes a good paragraph and what exactly is a paragraph. So we've got the 4 main features here. And again, you'll remember a topic sentence with a controlling idea or ideas. And all of those sentences should relate back to that main topic. It's got a first line that is indented. So you have a little space in the first line. And you also have a concluding sentence at the end, which brings your paragraph to a logical ending and wraps up your paragraph nicely. So those are the main features. And then we also had some grammar. Of course, you can't write without grammar. And we've learned a few different grammatical things so far this semester. And here's just a quick reminder. We did a subject-verb agreement. So making sure that your subject and verb agree. So if you don't say, he ski every winter, he skis every winter, making sure that you use the right verb form to match with your subject. We talked about verb tenses, making sure that you're using the right tense when you write. Are you, for example, if you're describing something that's part of your routine, you're going to use the present simple. If you're talking about like, for example, your first time on an airplane, that happened in the past, so you want to use the past tense, and you want to use the right endings for your verbs. We also covered capitalization and end punctuation. So what types of words to capitalize, and also how to end sentences, making sure you have a period or question mark or exclamation point at the end of the sentence. We discussed fragments, sentence fragments, and comma splices, and how to find them and how to fix them so that you do not use those when you write. Finally, we did pronouns used for key nouns to make your writing less boring, to give more variety, so you don't keep saying the same noun over and over again, right? Barry taught a class yesterday. Barry was in class for 2 hours. Barry gave us a lot of homework. No. Barry taught a class yesterday. He was in class for 2 hours. He gave us a lot of homework. So using different pronouns to vary your writing. All right, so that is our quick review of what a paragraph is and some of the language that we focused on. And now we've got a few activities for you to do. And we're going to start with, we've done the similar one before. So writing a topic sentence for a paragraph that's already done. We need to read the paragraph and understand, all right, what is the topic here? And what's the controlling idea? What is the writer trying to do in this paragraph? So we'll do this one together, and I'll leave the others for you to do on your own after you see how we analyze this one. Okay, at this point, I have no idea what this paragraph is about because I don't have a topic sentence. So it's going to take a little time to figure it out. I'm going to have to probably read a few sentences before we have an idea of what exactly this is about. So first, you need to have enough time to request and then submit all the necessary academic records. Okay, academic records sounds like something related to school. Okay, and it's about how much time you need to do something. So, okay. Often it takes a long time, there's time again, for records such as transcripts or standardized test scores to arrive at the university. So a transcript is a piece of paper that has all of your grades on it, all the grades you earned in your classes. And a standardized test score is, for example, like the Suning, your score for that test to arrive at the university. So we're talking about maybe getting ready for university, applying, we'll see. You must be sure that this paperwork reaches the university before the application deadline. Okay. Second, the admissions office must have enough time to look at your academic records and decide whether you will be accepted. Finally, many universities have a quota or special number. So if you don't know what that word quota means, the commas here set it off, and it's giving you the definition. A quota, what's that? Or special number, a special number of students who may enter every semester. If you apply too late, there may not be room for you for the semester in which you want to enter. Following these simple steps can help you get into a university quickly and easily. Okay, so this is about how to get into a university. And we've got different steps, things that you need to do. So you can, so based on what we've read here, we can come up with an appropriate topic sentence for this paragraph. And of course, there are different options. There's not just one correct answer here. Think about what we might want to use as our topic sentence. So for example, something like there are some simple steps for applying to university, or what else could we do? It takes some time to apply to university, so follow these steps. That is another option. So anything related to applying for university and time would help you come up with a good topic sentence for that. Those are just a couple of examples. Then number two here you can do on your own. This is about the Guinness Book of World Records and the world's longest suspension footbridge. And number 3, you have, well, I'll let you read that and figure out what the topic is. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this paragraph about hockey. It has 10 mistakes in it, and so we're going to go through here and see if we can find these 10 mistakes. I'm going to turn on my pen so I can make some notes here. And let's go ahead and see what we've got. So it says errors will be in indentation, capitalization, and punctuation. So right away, just from looking at it without even reading yet, I can see there is an indentation mistake. So this paragraph, the first sentence is not indented. It should be. So that's mistake number 1. Let's see. There is a lot to know about the sport of hockey. Okay, there's nothing else wrong there. Next sentence, hockey is popular in many countries, okay, including Canada and the United States. Well, Canada is a country, and so the first letter, the C, should be capitalized. So that's our second mistake. The US, United States, also a country. The United is capitalized, but the S isn't. And so that is our third mistake. It's got a period, which it should have, so that's fine. But look here, the first letter in the next word, next sentence should be capitalized. The T should be capitalized, and it is not. That's our fourth mistake. The game is played on ice. Ice should not be capitalized. That is number 5. And the players wear skates to move around. Okay. To move around, what? Period. There's no period there. We need a period. And that's going to be number 6. A hockey player can score a point if he hits a special disc called a puck into the goal. Puck is not a special noun. There's no reason for that to be capitalized. So that should be a small p. And that's number 7. However, this is not as easy as it seems because each goal is guarded by a special player called a goalie. Goalie might be a special player, but he's not so special that he needs a capital G. So that should be a small g. And that is number 8. Number 9 is right next to it. We're missing our period here. That's number 9. And there should be one more. The goalie's job is to keep the puck away from the goal. Okay, we're same thing. Missing a period. And the rest should be okay. That's number 10. Let's see if the rest is okay. The next time you see a hockey game on TV, perhaps you will be able to follow the action better because you have this information. And so we have found our 10 mistakes. We had an indentation mistake. We had several capitalization mistakes. How many did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 capitalization mistakes. Plus 1 is 7. And we had 3 punctuation mistakes. So you're going to do the same thing. Let me clear this and go back to my mouse. You're going to do the same thing with the rest of these paragraphs. Okay. Before you move on to these, be sure to, you're going to rewrite, you're going to give this one a title. Think about a good title for this. You write the title down here and then indent it, the first line, and then rewrite. Just copy this paragraph, making the changes that you pointed out here. And then you can go on and do the same thing for the rest of these paragraphs down below. And then we're going to move down to sequencing information. So you've got 5 sentences here. This is one full paragraph. One full paragraph. So you need to read through and find out the order that these go in. So what I would do first is try to find the topic sentence. And if you know the topic sentence, you can probably use that to figure out the concluding sentence. Okay, so number 1 will be topic, number 5 will be concluding, and then be sure to write the sentence type in the line here. And then you'll have 3 sentences left. You need to figure out the order that those go in. Those will be concluding, supporting sentences. You need to figure out the order that those go in. Okay, and write 2, 3, 4. And then you can go ahead and write out those sentences into a full paragraph, giving it a title first. Okay, and now we're going to analyze some paragraphs. So if you go back to activity 7, we've got, so again, you're looking at this paragraph that you just put in order and you copied it down here. And now you're going to analyze it. You're going to answer these questions about it. So what's the topic? What's the topic sentence? Why did the writer write this? So what's the writer's purpose? And ideas to improve. If you have any ideas to improve this paragraph. If you were writing it, what would you do to fix it, make it even better? Okay, activity 9, this focuses on finding good supporting sentences. And actually finding sentences that are not very good. So decide which sentence is not a good supporting sentence. Why don't we do, that's a long one. Why don't we do this one together because it's shorter. We'll do this one as an example. So bears of the Arctic. Polar bears have unique bodies that help them live in the harsh weather of the Arctic. Let me pull out my pen again. Okay. So it's about their bodies and how they live in the harsh weather. So all of our supporting sentences should be related to the bodies of bears. Okay. So they are large animals that weigh up to 1,800 pounds. Okay. The body fat, so this is about their body, from this weight, the 1,800 pounds, helps keep them warm. Okay, so far we're okay. This is related to their bodies and the harsh weather. Their heavy white fur not only protects them from icy winds, but also helps them hide in the large piles of snow. Okay, so it protects them from icy wind, that's harsh weather. Okay, hide in piles of snow. Okay. It snows a lot in the Arctic. The bears have 5 long, sharp claws on each paw. They use these to walk safely on the ice and to catch their food. So again, this is about their body and how they use them safely on the ice, related to the weather, and they are amazing creatures. Okay, so there's one sentence here that really does not seem to be necessary. It snows a lot in the Arctic. Okay, it does. We know that already. We know that there's harsh weather, and it is related to the weather of the Arctic, but it has nothing to do with polar bears or their bodies or how their bodies help them. So we could get rid of that sentence. Okay, plus it says here, help them hide in large piles of snow. If they're large piles of snow, we already know that it snows a lot in the Arctic. This is not necessary. Okay, so let me get rid of my pen and we'll go down. So that one we did together. You can do this one then by yourself, the frozen north. And then we're gonna read here and proofread for comma mistakes. So this a student wrote this, and he made a lot of mistakes with commas. Okay. I'm gonna let you do that one on your own. Let's see how many. There are 11 mistakes. If you need a review about commas and how to use them, the back of this book, pages 232 and 234, will use that as a reference if you're not sure about something. Okay. Well, we can do a couple just to get you started, and then I'll let you take over. Let me bring back my pen. So when you go to California, okay, San Diego is a great spot to visit because of the many exciting things to see and do. Okay, and then usually when we have these words like first, second, next, usually we put a comma after those. So there's 2 right there. Okay, and you can go ahead and find the other 9. I'm going to clear my drawings here, get back to my mouse, and then head on down. And when you're done, just like we've done with the other ones, give it a title and write it correctly here. Don't forget to indent. Okay. Okay, this is another a similar activity here. So imagine your classmate, your friend wrote this and gave it to you, and she's not sure about something. She wrote some questions out here. Okay, so answer the question and also explain why. And if you're not quite sure why, look in your book. In the back, you've got your reference, your writing punctuation reference. For example, with the commas that we just talked about up here, right? 232, 234. So she asked, should I capitalize lake here? Do I need a comma after unfortunately? Do I need commas here? And is the verb prevents okay here with this subject? So look at the subject and then see, should it be prevents or should it be prevent? That's a question about subject verb agreement. Okay, there may be a few vocabulary words that you don't know that are new to you, and those are the definitions are down here. So just refer to that if you're not sure. Okay, we've got a little grammar section here using articles, which are always tricky, very tricky in English. And we've got a few guidelines here. So singular non-count nouns, right? So singular, meaning one, and nouns that are not count, singular count nouns. Nouns that you can count. So for example, my mother is a teacher. Many people believe 13. 13 is a number, one of many numbers. You can count numbers. So it is an unlucky number. Okay. So number 2, when you mean the thing in general, do not use the with non-count nouns. Okay, so here's an example. Salt and pepper, like salt in general, pepper in general. You don't need the for that. All good chefs know that salt and pepper can make food taste better. So you don't mean a particular salt or pepper, you mean all of it, all salt, all pepper. Okay, so in that case, don't use the. Now, if you're sitting down having dinner and there's a salt shaker on the table, in that case, you're talking about that specific salt shaker. So in that case, you actually do say the. You would say, please pass the salt. Please pass the salt, or please pass the pepper. But when we're talking about in general, all salt, for example, you don't use the for that. Okay, number 3. When you mean the thing in general, avoid the plus a singular count noun. This is an example where we in English change it to plural. So the television is found in many American homes. No. Televisions, we change this to plural. Televisions are found in many American homes. So instead of saying like the lion lives in Africa, we would say lions live in Africa. Number 4, use the when you refer to a word a second or subsequent time. So dinner consisted of steak, potatoes, and carrots. Steak was great, but I did not like potatoes or carrots. So in the second time, so the second sentence, we're saying steak again, potatoes again, and carrots again. And in this case, we're going to add the, because it's already been mentioned once. We're referring back to it. So the steak was great, but I did not like the potatoes or the carrots, because you're talking about a specific steak that you already mentioned once. And finally, use the if there is only one of that thing. So the sun, there's only one. The sun. The moon, right? The moon. And we got 2 more here. Use the when you refer to something specific. Okay, so I'm talking about a certain bank in this example here. And there's only one. So the bank on the corner of 56th Street and Fowler is where Susan works, because you're talking about a specific bank. And finally, a superlative form. So this is when you're comparing big, bigger, biggest, right? Superlative would be the biggest, EST, or most form. So of all the movies I saw last year, the most interesting was Cry of the Eagle. So the most interesting, the best, the least exciting. Use the with those superlative comparison forms. All right, in activity 12, you're going to go ahead and correct articles. Here we've got article problems, just like up here we had 7 different examples. So you're going to find some mistakes here. Go ahead and try to fix those. In next week's lecture, I'll go back and explain. And you can check your answers, see how you did. And then we have, again, vocabulary at the end, like we always do. So word associations, narrow. If something is narrow, it does not mean that it's not covered, but it means that it is like thin or not wide. You can go ahead and do the rest of those on your own. And then you've got some collocations. And then we're going to have our writing homework. The writing homework will be on Canvas. And I'll tell you here too. So we're going to look at one of these topics. So you've got here on page 98, you've got 5 topics. So read about the worst or best day of your life. What do you think will be the highest paying occupation or job in 50 years? What is a perfect parent? So you need to describe characteristics. What makes a perfect parent? And then you can choose, number 4, you can choose a mechanical device and explain how it works and step by step the process of how it works. Topic 5 is about the UN. Some people think it's useless, other people think it's important and doing a good job, and you have to explain whether you think that UN should exist or not. So there is a wide variety of topics to choose from here in these 5. Excuse me. So go ahead and choose one of them and type up your paragraph. Pay attention to all the things we've learned so far, the review that we've done today, plus the new stuff. So title, indentation, good topic sentence with a controlling idea, supporting sentences that directly link back to that topic sentence, a concluding sentence that ends everything logically. Excuse me. And then subject-verb agreement, commas, using commas correctly, capitalization properly, making sure your tense, you use the right tense. Okay, and your pronouns for key nouns to make your writing varied. Don't forget about your articles that we worked on today. Using or un, the, or nothing at all, and are using those in the right places. So again, keep in mind when you revise, you should. So you're going to write it. Well, brainstorm first, like always. And then once you have your ideas all lined out, then you can start writing. And when you're done writing, go back and check for all of those things that we have discussed so far to make sure you're not making mistakes. If you make a mistake about, on something that we haven't learned about or reviewed yet, that's okay. But you really should try hard not to make mistakes with things that we have studied in class so far, because that's the whole point of studying those things, is to improve. To make sure you are revising and looking carefully over your writing before you post it. All right, that covers everything from Unit 5. Next time we're going to get into we're going to start looking at different types of paragraphs, and we're going to do definition paragraphs first. That will be next week. So your homework will be due on Friday. I don't have my calendar in front of me. Hold on one moment. Let me grab my calendar. My son has my smartphone. That's the easy way to do it. Let's see. So you're going to be doing this on April 20th. So this will be due on Friday, April 24th. Friday, April 24th. Please submit this by then. And of course, that'll be on Canvas. So if you can't remember exactly what you're supposed to do, go back to Canvas and you'll find everything there in detail. All right, and as always, be sure to leave a comment under the video for your attendance. And if you have any questions, send me a message on Kakao and I'll get back to you right away. Have a great week, and I look forward to reading your paragraphs, and we'll see you next time. Bye.